Hello and welcome to Come With Us, a podcast to meet all your fantasy needs. I'm Susie Nunez.
And I'm Reshea Kelly, and each week we dive into the tempting world of books, seductive romance, and a sprinkle of spice.
Hi, sinners. Welcome to episode 2, season 2 of Come With Us, your new favorite podcast. I'm Susie Nunez, and this week I am grateful for 2023. The whole year of it, everything. Even the very lows, even the very highs, all of it. What about you, Reshea?
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure people are going to come after you for liking 2023 as hard as they come after me for my Nesta comment.
I know. That's actually, we have to talk about that in another episode because that's a thing.
Absolutely. It's a thing. Okay. And I'm Reshea Kelly, and this week I am grateful for Adderall.
So true. So true.
So last week we covered The Dare by Harley Laroux. That means that this week we get to talk about Losers Part 1. This book, I know, right? This book was like an unexpected sequel to the novella that we talked about last week. And so if you haven't listened to that yet, please go back, listen to that one so you can be all caught up, right? So The Dare, as we mentioned, was meant to be like this standalone novella about a Halloween party in a small town with a bunch of kids from high school who are now in college. The outpouring of love and what I can only imagine was a borderline hostile request for more of Jess, Manson, Vincent, Jason, and Lucas encouraged Laroux to write this absolute gem of a book, and we could not be happier.
Oh my God. I finished my 2023 with these two books, Losers 1 and Losers 2, and I could not have finished my year better. Oh my God. What a ride. You guys, I cried and I did so many other things that I'm not going to tell you because it's going to be too much. But wow, these two books, I went into it loving The Dare, but I wasn't expecting much for these two books. I'm not going to lie to you.
Okay.
They were kinky, they were dark romance, they were great, but I was not expecting to have so many emotions while reading them. Was it the same for you?
Actually, I went in with very high expectations because I had seen a TikTok that was random. Like, it was after we'd had our interviews with Chelsea and she had told us about The Dare. After that, for some reason, a random TikTok popped up and it was a book talker doing a review, and she was saying these books are not just smut, they're actually well-written stories with really deep backstory and character development, and it really touches on like trauma and healing and chosen family. And I was like, okay, because I love me some smut, but I really love a substance-y book too.
Absolutely. Yes, I totally see that. And that's the thing. I went in loving The Dare and not in because The Dare was so smutty, but not in a bad way. It was phenomenal, but so smutty nonetheless. So I was waiting for these books to be very smutty, but not so personal, let's say.
Yeah.
So like all the characters, they were giving me, I know these people. I want to root for them. I want them to be so good. And that almost never happens to me. Like almost never. I don't care. I read books. I love the books. But for me to be attached like that to characters, that's weird. That's why I love fucking around so much. And then this book just came into my life, these two books. And I'm not the same. I'm not the same.
Yeah. I did my best to give my Allie Learns to Read version of a synopsis for this book. And for those of you listening, Susie hasn't read this yet. So
no, I have not.
She might hate it. All right.
Let's do it.
Jessica Martin, the Regina George of West Tennessee, comes home after college because she didn't have a job handed to her on a silver platter. What a shock. Her mom is your typical pageant mom who cares more about her getting married and popping out babies than her dreams of becoming a big city architect. Unfortunately for her mother's blood pressure, her daughter doesn't want that American dream. She wants to explore every kind of sex that requires a trigger warning with 4 bisexual mechanics that live together in a dilapidated house. Her shitty friends from... Her shitty friends from high school hate these guys, probably because they had a glow-up better than that guy who played Neville Longbottom, and their cars are better, and decide to commit a felony and let Jess take the fall. This was the best outcome for Jess and the reader, because these 4 mechanics are 22-year-olds and only think with their dicks. So they accept payment for the felonious activities, and shortly after fixing her own blown engine in the form of increasingly debaucherous sexual favors. Mfmm is the sadist master who acts as the head of household. Lucas is your high anxiety pre-therapy anger-fueled switch. Jason is the sincere boy genius who was kicked out by his asshole parents in high school for being gay. And lastly, but definitely not leastly, there's Vincent, who is the most well-adjusted person I've ever seen depicted in a romance novel, with an unnerving appreciation for clowns and probably every merit badge possible for not tying. They're all perfect and must be protected at all costs. 5 stars.
I love it. That was phenomenal.
Thank you.
I love it. I love it. I do have to say, though, I feel that I am the female real-life version of Vincent. I just said it.
Oh, absolutely. The only difference is you didn't have like free love parents.
No. But actually, if you guys follow me on Instagram, you know that at some point I said something like, I'm crying so hard because I want to have that mom so bad. She is perfect. But really, really, like this, Vincent's family was so wholesome. And of course they made mistakes. Like to me, the first thing that I thought was, what the fuck? Why do you keep having babies when you don't have the money? But
free love, baby.
Free love. And honestly, they made it work. And those kids are so happy. And of course, it's books and whatever. But the fact that Vincent is what I would love for society to be, at least not like on the general sense of him, because he is a lot. Let's be honest. But just a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, he's perfect. I love him.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's actually very lazy, and I freaking love that he said that. But whatever.
That he's lazy? Yeah, that's right. I can't stand a person that sleeps till noon. It drives me. Okay. Anyway. I can't.
And honestly, like, I love how they make these books so realistic, because it's 4 men living in a house. Of course they're gonna be like that.
Yeah,
you know?
Of course they did the bare minimum to get that house up to functioning, and then they did nothing else. There was no decor, no plants were planted in the planters. I just said that word too many times. In the front, there's no flowers, there's no like nice paint, nothing. They were just like, hey, we're getting all of the crap out of here, and then we're good. Hey, look, no cigarette butts. How great are we? Okay. Do they talk with an accent? Oh my god, I'll bet you they do. Oh my god.
You just destroyed it for me.
Wait.
No, I didn't hear that.
But what about this? What if it's like, hey, Jess?
Yes.
Yeah.
Immediately, yes. And you know they have music like that.
You look at your God when you're speaking to him.
No, when he said, be good, angel.
Be good, angel. See, a Western... I don't know why they call it Western. It's on the east side of the country.
I feel like a little girl right now.
A Southern accent can be good. Anyways, so let's talk about the main characters. Let's start with Jess. What were your first impressions of her in this book? I mean, because we met her in the Dare.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah.
Look. At the beginning of the book, I was like, you want to be so in denial, babes. Like, just cave to sin, you know?
The way she was lying to herself. Like, okay, she sits there and she's like, oh, I guess I'm going to this party tonight. I don't really have anything to wear. I guess I'll just wear this sweatshirt that just happens to be Manson's. I'm not even doing it on purpose. Like, bullshit. You were sitting there going like, and if he shows up, I'll be wearing his sweatshirt. Of course. Come on.
And honestly, I know she was like,
oh, she said she did. She said she pulled it out of the closet and was like, it's been years, honey.
I know she's doing that. Like,
oh, absolutely.
Let's be for real. But okay, my first thoughts at the beginning, I didn't hate her because I knew she was going to cave at some point, so I was okay with it. But
yeah,
I remember that I saw myself in her so much, like
really?
in the sense of when I tried to be a Jehovah Witness, I was lying to you so freaking much.
You're trying to go straight. Yeah.
Exactly. So I never thought about it that way, but you're totally right.
Trying to be vanilla, trying to be straight, trying to
yeah. So I saw myself in her a lot, in the sense of she wanted to be the good girl for her mom and all of that. Then there's a moment when I hated her, that when she didn't leave with them. You too?
That, and then it just gets worse.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All of that, and every time, I mean, I literally wrote a highlight in my book where Alex hands her a shovel, right? Like, just in case to like hit the dogs or whatever, and they're breaking and entering into their house. Yeah. And I literally wrote, if Jess doesn't stop this somehow, I will vomit. And then the next paragraph is them like smashing things, and I just highlighted it and I wrote barf. I was so done with her. I was like, you could have done literally anything. You could have started screaming. You could have called the cops. You had your phone on you. What the fuck? Oh, I was so mad.
Like, I understand that everything had to happen that way for the book to, progress.
Yeah.
But when Jason said, "Come with us, Jess," and she basically ignored him, or she said no or something like that, and then
she was at the point where I understood where she was, because once she was wasted, she was really fucking drunk. And then she also really wanted, like, she was tired of people acting like they needed to save her, that she needed saving. She's like, I can handle myself. And I remember her saying that. And that's why she said, I got it. But at the same time, I was like, but you could have car sex.
and more than that, why do you want to be with those people? They are disgusting.
The literal worst. Have you ever met anybody who's actually like that in real life? Because I feel like there's no way people like that actually exist.
Yeah, I know them. And God. I can tell you, because I know now, total narcissist. Yes, I hated her in that moment. I hated her when everything at the garage went down. I hated her when she acted like she was innocent.
Yeah. But, and then when she goes, I wrote this, I quoted this, the boldest move after she got caught, after they bailed on her and she got caught, immediately she goes, okay, fine, I know my safe word, but do you think your pussy is magic? This is thousands of dollars in damage. What do you mean you're offering up sex as a way to pay them back? If you were to be like, let me give you money. I don't have a lot of money, but I can scrounge something up. And they were like,
I know.
We have something better in mind. Then you take that. You don't offer your own vagina as payment for thousands of dollars.
I'm like, you're so lucky that these guys are obsessed with you.
Yeah. And they're just thinking with their dicks 24/7. Like, you're so lucky.
Something else that I need to talk about is, from the dare to this book is 2 fucking years.
Yeah.
How can you ghost? How can you forget about someone for so freaking long?
I mean, she didn't forget.
That you loved, because she loved that night.
Oh yeah. I don't think she didn't forget. She was trying to move on because she's like, well, that doesn't fit with that's the thing, is the whole like, well, that doesn't fit with what I want in life. That doesn't fit with the picture I got.
When she said it, oh my God.
Like, look at your parents. Your parents are fucking miserable. Your dad has given up completely to the point where your mom just walks all over him. Is that like the life you want? In the book, basically, we learn about her kinks, right? Did anybody else feel like they were reading an autobiography?
Okay.
Weird.
In this, specifically this point, can we just talk about how realistic Harley Laroux wrote this?
Yes.
Because she saw something and she was like, I might be into that. And that's how it happens.
Yeah. Nobody is just like, let me open a website and look up random BDSM kinks. That's not how it happens.
No.
You have a moment and you're like, why did I feel something?
Or in our case, we're reading something, we're like, wait.
Oh, the number of things I had to Google while reading this book and then going, oh, add that to the list.
By the way, talking about this, the way when they gave her the list, all of their limits and hard limits and soft limits, and she was googling mostly Jason's, and she's like, okay, I might be into that. And at some point, she says something like, yeah, I could be into golden showers. I want to try them. And everyone was like, what the fuck? Who is this girl?
I know. I was like, damn. And then Vincent said, like, thank you, Satan, for this gift. And I was like,
something like that. Yeah.
I love Vincent so much.
Love it.
Yeah, but I just thought it was great to see how she didn't feel sick or disgusting for having her kinks. And then she did a really good job with her own inner monologue.
Mm-hmm.
In order to tell. So I guess Harley did a good job writing a good inner monologue that explained like the desires and the needs that were the undercurrent that formed these kinks. So like the need to be able to like let go and not have to feel like you're in control or putting on a mask all the time. Things like that were so fucking relatable.
So good. Like, they did an amazing job explaining maybe how a kink evolves and how you realize that you're maybe a sub, you may be a dom, you may be a brat, you're going to be a brat tamer. Because if you think about it, totally. If you think about it, Manson is a brat tamer.
Oh, absolutely. He's a brat tamer, so he doesn't want his brats to stay bratty. He wants to break them.
He wants them to be, I think he's into slaves. I think that's his end goal. He wants to have a slave. Definitely love the way that they did that whole kink evolving, discovering side in the books, especially with Jess, because she was new into all of this. Like, she never thought about having sex differently than some spanks or something like that. And then she gets into this universe of kinks, because these guys, they're 22, but they're better in bed, I think, that guys are like 40 and 50 in real life. Of course, this is a book, we get it, but
I mean, they also started sneaking into a sex club for lessons at like 17.
I was gonna get there. Yeah, I mean, there is a moment when they give her all of their soft, hard, and limits, all of the limits in all shapes and forms. And she starts Googling and all of that. That, to me, was everything in this book. Because they could have taken advantage of her not knowing anything, of her just saying red or green or yellow, whatever. No, they wanted her to get educated, to research. If you are a dom or you want to be a dom at some point, please take this. Read that book and learn, because this guy did an amazing job. That's what someone that actually knows how to be a dom does.
Yep. They make sure everybody is safe, fully informed, because consent is only consent if it's fully informed consent.
Yep.
And that the consent is constant and enthusiastic.
Amen.
Can we talk about how he is, in all aspects of his life, in charge of all of them?
He's not a dom. He's not a sir. He is a master.
Yeah. And even Vincent, who is also a dom, and they would never be really sexually compatible. They talk about it. he's still like, Vincent still like defaults to Manson sometimes when it comes to like household decisions. Like they all talk about it together, but it's kind of like, oh, let's check with Manson first, or, you know, whatever. Like it feels like everything kind of just goes like this to Manson.
It has to, because if you think about it, of course these are kinks, but these translate to life at the same time. So in their cases specifically, not for everyone, but in these books, all of them are switch, and just Manson is the only one that is a master or a dom. So if you think about it, they could make decisions, just the switch guys, but they cannot. They need the approval of the guy that actually commands everybody, because Manson is the one that is always on top for everyone. Even for Vincent, he's not a sub. He's a dom, but he is. If we talk about ranks, it's like Manson
like
and the
second in command. Yeah.
And then maybe Lucas, and I think Lucas and Jason are like fighting for the third place, but those two are there, and Manson always has the last word, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And the way that this was immediately conveyed is the night of the break-in, where I am still confused as to the exact placement of everyone, because
yes.
were you confused? Because I'm like, I need somebody to explain to me. Somehow she was bent over the door, like through the window into the car. But then somehow Manson is like standing in front of her.
And Jason is here. And
was he in the back seat? But either way, here's the thing. Suspension of disbelief. I just was like, I'm not going to think too hard about it. And I just kept reading.
When I tell you that I was at that moment reading that, I spent some minutes thinking, like my brain was going, because he wanted to understand what was happening.
Yeah, and at some point I was like, it's just not going to make sense. So I just kept reading. But that whole time, like, Manson is like telling Jess what to do. And then he's telling Jason what to do to Jess. And then he's telling Lucas to come over here and take his belt off and suck his dick. And I'm just like, he's in charge of everyone. Yeah. And they're just like, yes, sir. Aye, aye, captain. Yes, chef. And they just go for
They know. I think they know what's good, because he knows how to punish people. He
really does.
Freaking knows.
Good Lord. Anyways.
But here, top only, I have mixed feelings. Tell me more.
I talked to my gay neighbor about this. And as a woman who has dabbled in backdoor activities, I don't understand why men can say, let me put it in your butt, honey. But then they're like, oh, no, don't even go near my back door. I'm straight, or blah, 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 whatever. I still think if a guy is begging a woman to do anal, he should be at least open to the concept of a little light pegging. If you want to dish it out, you better be able to serve it, because it's not that comfortable sometimes.
Absolutely.
I'm talking to my gay neighbor about this, and I was like, so like, if a guy says to you, I'm a top only, it feels unfair, right? And he's like, definitely, absolutely, I would never date one of those. And I was like, see, that's where I was coming from. And so I've been having this like horrible like fight in my head of like, that's not fair. You need to be able, like, if you want to put somebody else through that, then you should be able to take it. And then the other part of my brain going, but he's the master. He only inflicts pain and blah, blah, blah. So why would he accept something that causes pain when he's only the inflictor? And
that's it. And if you think about it, Manson could not. I never thought about Manson as a bottom. He cannot be. He cannot.
No. I've heard of people who are still tops, but they still get like taken care of. But I guess I heard that in more like lesbian relationships where it's like, yes, you're a top, but she's still gonna like eat you out, which is gonna be the same thing that she does to you, or that you do to her. But I guess it's different. I don't know. It's all very new to me. So
yeah, I see.
is it hot in here?
In my opinion, I'm not a man going out with another man. So I'm going to talk about what I've known, what I've seen before, and that's
Okay.
it.
Okay.
And the people that I know that actually are into all of these things too. When you are in Manson's level, in this case, he's the master. He's not a dom, he's not a sir, he's a master. Everything that he says is going to be done. You don't have to sub for anybody, and no one is going to expect that from you.
Yeah. Okay.
And you have to understand that maybe Lucas was not fucking him, but Lucas was fucking Jason and Jess.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And they like this is a relationship of 5 people.
Yeah.
Like the dynamics are going to be very different than a monogamous relationship, you know?
For sure. And I think that's the other thing is like I'm looking at it through the lens of like a monogamous vanilla relationship
Exactly.
where everything's mostly equal, but then one person wants to do something that causes a bit of an imbalance and you're like, not that I want to touch a man's butthole, but still.
But you don't know what you're saying. We see it as maybe a dysfunctional dynamic because we are always thinking about other people's feelings. But the only thing that make Jason, Vincent, Lucas, and Jess happy is making Manson happy.
Yeah, you're right.
Have that in mind.
This is in the car.
Okay.
Right after everything, right?
Okay.
So Jason's eating her like a buffet, right? And she says, God, Jason, please don't stop, please. And Manson seizes her by the face and says, when you call to your God, you'd better look at him. There was only one God before me, and it was Manson himself. And then she begins to beg him to let her come. What dignity? She's gone. Left the building. I
don't have
moving on.
Talking about dignity, there is a moment when she goes home because they didn't let her finish at all. And she goes home and she wants to, masturbate. And, and Lucas is like out.
Oh, he's in the tree.
Oh my God, that was so good. That was so good. And she got punished for that. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he said, oh, you want to break the rules? All right.
But after that, she got punished or no? That was the punishment, right?
The punishment was him making her put the vibrator on like high and then to sit in the window.
Yeah.
Also, this book made me discover some feelings I might have about exhibitionism, which is fun. I'm like, well, that sounds really nice. Alrighty. Yeah. Okay. All right. So moving on. Somehow Manson has oldest sibling syndrome, even though he's an only child. And this makes my heart hurt for him because I feel like somebody needs to just like take the weight off his shoulders, but he just keeps like holding on to it. I want to care for him. I want to just take him.
Yeah. This is one of my favorite things that they did in this book, Harley. The way they depicted Manson's need of control. If you are a person with ADHD and you have a little bit of control in your life, you know how it is and how it feels when you don't have it anymore. Or when you feel like you're losing it. And the way that they described Manson's panic attacks and the anxiety and all that, oh my God. I was like, is this, the Euphoria clip that says, is this fucking play about us?
No, I haven't seen that one, but now I'm gonna.
Yeah, that was me. I was like, wow. I don't know if the author has been through all of this, but the way they wrote it is like, me, bestie. We're besties. Like, the struggle. Because Manson, of course, all of them have trauma because this is a dark romance. The trauma is going to be there, and the trauma is very traumatic. But not everyone can write it the way they did.
I know.
Like the way it was so real.
What gets me is the way that they depicted the anxiety. How whenever it was a scene with just the guys and Jess wasn't there, my own blood pressure went up a little bit, and like my heart started racing a little bit because I could feel their anxiety while they were because it was always kind of an undercurrent in their communications with one another, like a level of uncertainty, and not like an excitement, but like a what's going to happen, and unstable footing, and
the anxiety
and a little bit
was
of fear.
palpable.
It really was. Their pharmacist for the anxiety, Vincent, our well-adjusted king. Okay. We already talked about how his family's the fucking best, which is number one off of my checklist. His family's the fucking best.
Oh my
God. Can we talk about how this man knows his astrology?
He's gonna tell you his chart, all of it. And then he's gonna ask you for the day of your birth, for the exact time, and he's gonna do your chart.
I'm surprised that Vincent hasn't, like, in the books been like, so I know we're trying to find a new place to live. Can I do an astrocartography for all of us and see what would be best lined up with our Sun and Jupiter lines? That would be great. That would be the best places for us to live for harmonious living.
Maybe he didn't do it in the books, but he did it. He did it.
He was like, I'm going to do it. And then none of the lines lined up. And he's like, we're just going to put this away. So a quick back. So Manson is dealing with a lot of feelings of guilt because he thinks that him being a sadist is indicative of the bad genes that his dad gave him, right? And, I must be as bad as my dad, and I'm just finding a healthier outlet, which makes me also a bad person. I don't know how Manson can be so blind when Vincent is right there, and he is the most sweet, loving, adorable, beautiful heart man. Riding with Jess in the car, he looks over, gives her the most sincere smile, like he would never want to be anywhere else than right here next to her. He puts his hand on her thigh, one hand on the wheel, and he's just driving, and he gets to the barn, and he says, I took screenshots of what he says.
Yes, please.
Do you know what I like to do with beautiful things? I like to break them. I like to watch them crack into pieces as I destroy them. If you bite me, I'll bite you back. She says the viciousness in his tone sent a clear warning. All my fake struggles didn't change, really. I wanted this. I longed for it. Scream all you want. No one can hear you out here. Remember your safe word, baby. Don't forget where you are. Hold up. This man who had the most healthy fucking childhood, respectively, out of the four of them, he still likes to break pretty little things, and he likes to electrocute them, and he likes to pour hot candle wax on them, and then he likes to just tie them on up, and he was fine. So Manson, clearly that's not indicative of just being a bad person. Look at Vincent. The break-in scene, though. Anyways, let's get back to Vincent.
It was good. No, I loved it. It was great, but I've done it before, and I would have loved if they played a little bit more with the thrill of the fear.
Yeah. It was very short-lived, but I also think that it was more realistic, more doable in real life. Like, it was more like, if you read this book and you look at your spouse and you're like, let's try this one, you could totally do this. This wouldn't take a whole lot of stamina or experience. You could totally figure it was like a manageable CNC experience.
But it was really good. The thing is that it was the moment that makes CNC good is the fear that you're feeling. And the build-up. And that build-up was like 2 seconds. And I was like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah. True. And Vincent does an amazing job of building that tension and that fear just with his words.
Look.
And the giant clown mural.
Oh, heck yes. Men are always complaining about women wanting them to last like an hour or whatever. This book is the perfect example that penetration is the last thing we think about.
Yeah, the penetration is always like a few minutes at the end. Always.
Like,
why is
okay,
this so hard? Nobody's expecting you to pound me for 45 minutes.
That will leave us in pain for days.
You can't manage how much lube would you go through?
And
Even
second,
if you don't have that issue.
And second, that's boring.
I know. Yeah, and women are built different than men.
Yes.
We are 66%, I think it's like 2/3 of the time, you're not gonna get an orgasm just from sticking your dick in a woman. It's not gonna happen.
No.
That's why vibrators exist. If everybody could get a G-spot orgasm, we would only have dildos. That's it.
We know that Manson is a sadist. He loves to inflict pain. We know. But Vincent, he loves to torture. And
I think he looks at it like an art.
Yeah, exactly. Because he's an artist. Vincent is my number one, and I do not have number ones because this book, if you want one of them, you want all of them. That's actually something that they always say.
They balance each other out.
Yeah, if you want me, you have to want us all. And that's a heck yes for me. Every time I think about him, he reminds me of an playful angel.
He's like a Loki.
Yes. And he's my favorite.
I fucking love Loki. I just thought it was a really interesting and awesome take that the first spicy scene we have in the whole book on page 41 is Vincent and Jason.
I didn't know that we were going to have smut so early in the book. And then the fact that it was them, like their dynamic, their house, and had nothing to do with Jessica, I was like, oh, we are starting so good.
And that's why, like, I know that I've been talking about this book series as a reverse harem, but it's really not, because it's a polyamorous book.
Yes.
It's not reverse harem because they're all together. And putting that scene first that wasn't Jess centric or female centric really, really, for me, made a point that like these people have rich and deep and meaningful relationships outside of Jess as well. I thought it was a really smart move, and
I think that's why White Shoes is the other name for this genre.
And they all have, here's the thing, they're all really great. Just Vincent doesn't need as much therapy. And that's why he wins.
And he's definitely my favorite from all of them are my favorites, but he's one of my favorite from, of course, but from society's system and structure, Vincent is everything that is wrong. He doesn't have expectations in life. He works for his family. He doesn't work to be rich, and he knows that he's lazy. He knows that if he could sleep the whole day, he would do it. And it's something that I love to read in a book, but let's be honest, you and me right here, sinners. You don't want a boyfriend like that. You don't want a boyfriend like that. Let's be honest.
Shut your mouth. You don't want a Vincent in real life?
I want a Vincent, but I want a Vincent that has ambition, and he doesn't.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I get what you're saying. I love
him. I freaking love him, and that's why all of them together work. Them individually? Heck no. No.
You're right. It's not a forever kind of relationship, but
no, it can be. It can be.
Fuck them for a few months.
It can be if they come in a package.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because if you're just dating Vincent, he's gonna move into your apartment. And then
he's always gonna be there. He's always gonna be high.
And you're gonna come home from work and he's gonna have like gotten paint, like oil paint on your nice couch, and you're gonna be like, what the fuck? And he's gonna be like, sorry about that, I was creating this masterpiece. And you're gonna look behind him and there's gonna be a giant painting on the wall, and it's gonna be a fucking clown. You're gonna be like, get out of my house.
But then if you think about it, Jason and Manson and Lucas will be there to say, hey buddy, not here. Maybe the garage, but not here. You know, that's why you need to meet the package.
Yeah. So you can just keep living at your house with your buddies. And we can fuck on the weekends. Anyways.
Let's talk about Lucas. I have a question for you before we start with him. If you have to choose your least favorite one, which one would it be? Be honest.
Lucas.
Same. But you haven't finished the second book. So do not say anything yet.
Oh no, I won't. But and here's the thing is he's my least favorite if I had to pick. But only if I had to pick. I would prefer not to pick.
Definitely. Of course. Same. Okay, so let's talk about Lucas.
Okay, yes. Someone please give this man a fucking Xanax.
No.
Or 3. Please.
Therapy.
Give this man one of those chambers where he lays in the water and it's like the perfect saline balance, so you're just floating like a sensory deprivation pool. This man needs a fucking break, okay?
I see him as a pit bull. A very aggressive pit bull, you know. I'm gonna say names and you're gonna say what is the first thing that comes to your mind. Manson.
I was thinking scrawny.
Okay.
He has very thin legs in my mind and I don't know why. Jason, nerd.
Vincent.
Hippie.
Lucas.
That guy from Prison Break. Wentworth Miller.
Really?
That's how I imagine Lucas.
I mean, he's beautiful, but yeah. I understand what you're saying.
He has naturally angry eyebrows.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Okay, Jess.
Bitch.
Love it.
Okay, all right. So for you, I'm going to go in a different order, okay?
Love it.
All right, ready? Jason.
Computer nerd. Geeky.
Manson.
You know that image with the tattoos and the hands on the throat? That's every time. Manson, always that. Forever.
Absolutely. Jess.
Pink.
Vincent.
He's the most difficult one for me. I will say Sparkles.
Is he just colors?
Yeah,
it's just colors. Lucas
Pitbull. Yes, Lucas is very jumpy. He is a pitbull. He's always like, I'm not talking about like all the pitbulls.
Pitbull that has been forced into dog fighting.
Exactly.
And was rescued by like a middle-aged white woman in Uggs. And she's like, here, baby, I'm here to make you feel better. And he's just like,
good for her, but bad for everybody else. Yes, exactly like that. Exactly.
Yeah. What range this man has. He's a sadist top into CNC and calling Jess nothing but a fuck toy. And he's aggressive but then he flips and he's just like, hurt me to Manson, and he's just the range of this man sexually.
He is like this because his story is fucking painful.
Like, dude, okay, can we talk about the left field of his brother?
I don't think he did it.
I don't know if it gets revisited in book 2, but
no, it does not.
I don't think he did it either.
I don't think he did it. And I want Harley Laroux to keep writing books so we can know. I don't think the brother did anything. I think the brother is innocent, and the rich people in town made him go to prison for someone else. Sorry.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Absolutely.
Yes. Now that I said this, I'm so happy.
So I'm learning quickly that I have a very soft spot for the grumpy one like the grumpy sunshine dynamic, grumpy one when they start like breaking that facade down. And after the CNC scene when Manson was forcing him to do aftercare with Jess and she like fell asleep on him and he was like, it's like,
I don't know what to do.
It's like when you get a rescue cat and they finally trust you enough to fall asleep on you and then you're like, now I can't move. I'm here forever. That was him with Jess. Is like, I can't move. I don't know what to do. And it warmed my heart so much. He was a strong front runner for me. I was like, oh my God, I love it. He's getting taken over by life. And then he pulled a fucking Nesta and he was just like, Nope. No, we're gonna go back to thinking that she's gonna fuck us over and just be a bitch to her and call her fuck toy and be like, oh, I'll bet you can't even show up and be there for us. And she's like, watch me.
The group chat. I want to be in that group chat so bad.
Oh my God, that group chat.
You imagine the pictures?
Oh, the pictures.
You imagine the memes that Vincent sends?
Yeah, no, I know what memes Vincent sends. They're the memes that you and I send each other on Instagram.
I know, but it's gonna come from him, not from us.
I know, it'd be great.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh,
amazing.
guys, we should definitely have an open channel or like a group for people from the podcast.
Like a Discord?
Oh my God, we should. You guys, should we do that? Because we're
a Discord
crazy.
channel.
Like,
let's have a Discord channel.
If our DMs go out, we would. I don't know how to walk outside. I would be like.
I just put my book annotations for this book on an Instagram post. Then I was watching and I was like, maybe I shouldn't have included the 1, 2, or 3 that said that I ruined my fucking underwear, because I'm pretty sure my mom looks at everything I post now.
But I love it, babe. Well, I love it.
Whatever. It's fine.
I love it. It was
I live my truth.
Lucas is a character that he's giving a lot of Nesta in all of the books. And I think that's why I hate him so much. Jason.
Oh, he's such a sweetheart.
He is the pretty cute boy.
And I, in the words of Tierney, absolutely froth a man who wants to see how many times he can get me off.
He's a pleasure dumb. For sure.
What?
For sure.
No? Who would say no?
For sure. Like that. The fact that, one, he was not the one planning the first time with Jess. It was all the guys that did all the job for the baby of the house.
So sweet. It's like, what? For me?
Second, the cat ears, because Vincent saw his search history in the computer and he knew that he was into that right now.
Yeah.
That is the orange pill theory. That right there is the bird theory. Vincent is a perfect lover. But
not life partner, lover.
Life partner, lover, whatever. The best part to me in that scene was when he just finished. Everyone did what they had to do. Vincent waited till the end.
Yes. And he was like, I'm not done. My face is so hot. I'm flustered. He rails her, okay? She's cum drunk. She doesn't know what she's doing. She's a blubbering mess. Her brain is mush. The guys, 2 of them, Lucas and Manson, just came all over her face. Jason came in her puss after making her come like 4 times with his mouth and a vibrator and a clit sucker. And Vincent was like, and they're all just like, and Vincent's like, and he walks over and he grabs her by the leg and he just goes to pound town. And I can't imagine a better example of free use.
I read that and I didn't pick up the book again for like 2 days.
Because you were masturbating the whole time. I'm just kidding.
Yes, but no. I like, when you have these ideas in your mind and you never think that you're gonna see those things in real life or read them, and then you read them and I didn't know how to be.
R.I.P. that pussy. For sure. The one other thing that I want to talk about with Jason is I did not know that there was such a thing as exhibitionist revenge quickies. When they're at the gym and Alex is giving him shit, so they lock him in a shower stall and then he fucks her while he can hear everything but can't get out. I've never enjoyed reading something so petty in my whole fucking life. Aside from when the punch bowl went right in Danielle's face. That was the other petty thing I enjoyed.
Oh, yes. The way I hate Alex, I don't know how to explain it.
I'm just glad He's literally, listen, characters like Tamlin, hate, loathe, still would love to see a redemption arc. Alex could fuck off and die and I wouldn't care.
Oh, yeah, okay. I thought you were going to say that with Alex. I'm like, no. That guy deserves to have a car go on top of him like 100 times. I
take like a long walk off a short cliff.
Oh my God, that guy. That scene, I just love how Jess is into everything.
Oh my God.
How she's freaking limits.
She never is like, well, I don't know. I've never heard a yellow come out of that bitch's mouth.
No!
She's just like, let's do it.
she is like my dream person because she's always into everything. I freaking love it. Okay. Can we talk about how geeky and nerdy Jason is and how sexy that makes him? Because if you think about it, he's the one making the bucks in the house.
Oh, I know. He's the only one who, well, no, because the mechanics do a lot of work too. Probably not as lucrative. Jason, if on paper, my dream.
I think Jason, it's the only one that I can say we can be together without the other guys.
Like if you had to pick one to be monogamous with, 100% Jason.
Mm-hmm.
Because
fuck no, but then man said Jason. Sorry, Jason.
It's Jason. Jason has he's smart. Oh God, intelligence.
He's so freaking smart.
Intelligence.
And I think we both are sapiosexuals, so that to us is like,
oh yeah, absolutely. Intelligence is so important, and the fact that he can be sincere. Having been in relationships with people who can never stop going for the joke, sometimes it's okay to be sincere sometimes. And that's really nice. Also the pleasure dom, 100% up my alley.
Yes.
Loves to use toys, A+.
And he is fit. He can do things to you that Manson cannot. Manson doesn't need to because he is a master. He's gonna, you're going to obey.
He doesn't have to pick you up. He will just make you crawl to him. That's it.
Period.
Jason will lift you out of the tub and carry you to the bed and then towel dry you because he doesn't want your pretty little feet to get tired. That's Jason.
I love him. His parents.
They fucking suck.
The way I ride with Jason's story. Oh my God. I mean, of course, for personal reasons and, past and whatever. But more than that and more than my story, his story is so relatable.
Yeah.
It's so sad. I have so many friends that are Jason.
Oh yeah. I mean, I grew up in the middle of like Mormon Central. And I had a friend in high school who was an amazing guy, and everybody didn't know what happened to him after high school. And I guess like his parents found out that he was gay and they sent him to a conversion therapy camp.
Fuck no.
And he wasn't the same since. And I hope he found healing, and I hope he found his people, and I hope he's doing okay now. But like seeing the way that can break a person, it's despicable. And as a parent, I can't imagine ever choosing to abandon my child like that.
The thing is that his parents are the worst, and Harley Laroux, the way they wrote this story specifically was so real. I don't know if that happened in their life or maybe someone that they know, but it was. But we'll see you next week with the dynamics of this very beautiful polyamorous relationship. So we're talking about 5 people, and
way to end it on a high note.
I know. But this was just like the appetizer for the next episode.
Because you can't get enough of us, be sure to follow us on all of our socials at Come With Us Pod. Find all of the links to our social media, our Spotify, our website, YouTube, all that on our website at comewithuspod.com. Please leave us a 5-star review. And if you like this episode, why don't you send it to your fellow smut lovers?
Beloved sinners, you've been good little angels. Thank you for listening, and remember, stay wicked, stay wild, and keep reading. We love you. Bye!